Queenstown. Most spectacular tourist destinations. Queenstown, New Zealand, sits on the shores of the South Island's Lake Wakatipu, set against the dramatic Southern Alps. It is without a doubt New Zealand's most popular tourist destination. During peak times, this small town becomes one of the most vibrant places on Earth. They don't call Queenstown New Zealand's adventure capital for nothing. It is one of the most exciting holiday destinations in the country that offers everything you adrenaline junkies could possibly want out of your vacation. There are myriad places to visit in Queenstown that are unique and spectacular, so much so that you'll be spoiled for choice in this land of adventures. It is an incredible mix of breathtaking views, delectable food, and a range of fun-filled outdoor activities. Here are some fantastic places to visit in Queenstown. Cruise Lake Wakatipu. There are two different scenic cruises you can choose between in Queenstown. The first cruise is on the Spirit of Queenstown vessel operated by Southern Discoveries and involves riding on a catamaran. This cruise goes the furthest along the lake, and it's also one of the cheapest things to do in Queenstown at about $40 NZD per person. For an extra special experience, you can book their sunset dining cruise and wine and dine with some of the best views around. The other scenic cruise is on board the TSS Earnslaw operated by Real Journeys. It's the last remaining vessel from the Gold Rush and somewhat of a historic experience. The TSS Earnslaw is a traditional coal-powered ship where you can actually observe workers shoveling coal into the burner as you cruise along the lake. You can combine this scenic cruise with a gourmet barbecue lunch that is super tasty and one of the best meals you can have in Queenstown, trust me on this. The TSS Earnslaw is unique in the fact it is coal-powered, but it is also always a lot busier on board and almost double the price. The Spirit of Queenstown is a more relaxing journey with a smaller group on board and plenty of space. Ultimately the choice is yours, but just do one or the other, there is no need to do both. Skipper's Canyon. Queenstown is a hotbed for many adventure activities. Skipper's Canyon is no different. It is famous for curvy hiking and trekking trails, with its many twists and turns, sheer drops, and tight corners, making it a mega adventurous spot for adrenaline junkies. Skipper Canyon tours are a great way to explore this scenic place and discover its rich gold mining history. A visit to the delightful Winkies Museum is also part of this tour. Milford Sound. Visiting Milford Sound while you're in New Zealand is a must. While I personally recommend staying a couple of nights in Te Anau or Fiordland National Park to give yourself time to explore the area, it's very possible to visit Milford in one day from Queenstown. You can either drive yourself or jump on one of the day tours from Queenstown to Milford. There are bus tours that include a cruise once at Milford Sound, and then there are some tours that also include a scenic flight. Tours are typically 12 hours total with the drive time to and from Milford. They start at around $175 per person with regular deals depending on the company you book with. You can also drive yourself to Milford Sound from Queenstown. It is a long drive at around 3 hours each way. The roads can also be icy in the winter and you must carry snow chains. I also recommend leaving Queenstown at around 6 am to avoid getting stuck behind a bunch of slow tour buses that depart around 7 am. Mount Cook. After Queenstown, the Mount Cook National Park is my favorite place in New Zealand. The truth is, I personally recommend taking at least 2 days and staying in Mount Cook in order to properly explore that area. With that said, I know not everybody has time for that, which is where a day trip from Queenstown comes in handy. I wouldn't recommend driving yourself to Mount Cook for the day, it's just too much driving and you'll be too tired to do anything once there. Instead, book this tour and catch some sleep on the ride there and back. This way, once you arrive at Mount Cook you can hike and explore. Alternatively, save on the driving time and fly to Mount Cook instead. That would be quite the adventure. FRANZ JOSEF. Located about a 4.5-hour drive from Queenstown, this is another destination where I recommend you spend a few days as opposed to just a day trip. Grab yourself a rental car or jump on this guided coach tour to enjoy the incredibly scenic drive from Queenstown to FRANZ JOSEF. You'll pass through Wanaka, Mount Aspiring National Park, the Wild West Coast, and enjoy attractions including waterfalls and glaciers. It is easily one of the best road trips on the South Island. Once you arrive in FRANZ JOSEF, be sure to book yourself a hotel and spend a few nights. There are tons of things to do in FRANZ JOSEF to keep you busy for a day or two before you head back to Queenstown. Roy's Peak. Roy's Peak is an iconic hike in New Zealand. It's an 8-kilometer climb to the top, and then you come back down the same trail. You'll gain over 1,300 meters in elevation, which makes Roy's Peak the hardest on this list. Take in breathtaking views over Lake Wanaka, Mount Aspiring, Tititea and surrounding peaks after a steep climb through alpine meadows and tussock grasslands to the summit. This is a popular track and one of our best day hikes. With that said, Roy's Peak is likely the best free activity you can do in Wanaka. Shotover River. A favorite among thrill seekers, Shotover River is a great destination for white water rafting and jet boat cruises. The steep walls of the canyon make for a spectacular ambience and add to the excitement. Shotover River has larger rapids than any of the other rivers in the area, perfect for a thrilling whitewater rafting adventure. Coronet Peak. Coronet Peak has one of the best ski fields in all of Queenstown. One of the best places to visit in Queenstown, Coronet Peak is a great place for snowboarding, skiing, and some night skiing as well. It has trails for all levels from beginners to experienced skiers. Coronet Peak also has night skiing facilities. Ben Lomond. Ben Lomond is a challenging hike, but the views are so worth it. The stunning scenery is breathtaking, so much so that it can be almost impossible to describe in words. Not even the best mountain quotes can do these views justice. You simply have to see it yourself to believe it. Ben Lomond Track officially starts at the end of the Tiki Trail at the Skyline building at the top of Bob's Peak. You can choose to hike the Tiki Trail from Queenstown and then transfer onto Ben Lomond Track, or skip the Tiki Trail and take the gondola. Riding the gondola to the top of Bob's Peak takes you directly to the start of Ben Lomond Track and makes the track a lot easier and shorter. If you hike the entire Ben Lomond Track, you will end at the summit of Ben Lomond. The views from here are unrivaled by any hike in the area. However, getting to the summit can be a challenge, and in some cases, dangerous when it's slippery or icy. For this reason, I only recommend hiking to the saddle when trail conditions aren't ideal. From Queenstown, getting to Ben Lomond summit and back down will have you covering 14 kilometers, 8.7 miles, return, and gaining 1,483 meters, 4,846 feet, in elevation. It's a full-day hike that takes most people around 8 hours.